Wow, can you believe it? Week 6, everyone. We are halfway through after this week, which is amazing. I hope you've enjoyed doing your human design. I think it was a really cool placement actually in the course, and now we get to move on and potentially be a little bit empowered by our human design. I hope it maybe awoke some parts of you that maybe were asleep for a little while, maybe not. But either way, I hope it's helped on the journey. It's definitely helped me a lot. Now, this week we're going to look at your story. So I'm going to share my screen. Um, yeah, your unique story. So we're just going to talk about why we're going to talk about your story. Okay, why is it paused? Sorry. Okay, that's better. Why your story matters, and then we're going to look a little bit at your values as well, because I think that's a big part of what makes us us. So, why does your story matter? I believe our story is everything that makes us us. If you've listened to my podcast, you'll know that I think our qualifications are amazing and they help us become more capable of doing certain things. But there is magic that happens in between and before and after. And I think it's really important to acknowledge. It's really funny as well because when I came to creating this module and as this week was coming up, on my social media, there was a lot of synchronicities of people saying, or people offering help with writing bios, or people having difficulties writing their own bios. And I think it is a really important part of the process, no matter why you came here, and but especially if you are here and you want to run a business, you've got to get good at writing about yourself. And it is really weird how we resist that sometimes, and it is something that's so special, like it's us. Like, how often do we actually take the time to really reflect on our entire lives? Like, sometimes we journal about the day, sometimes we think about what happened last week, but really take the time to just appreciate every single moment we've had on this earth so far and loving it is, I think that starts with us writing it out. Write it out, take the time to do it. And there is a big difference between taking the time to do it and thinking that we're doing it as well. This is a quote from Maya Angelou, which I love. There is no bigger agony than bearing an untold story inside of you. And I think that's so true. I think everyone here definitely has a story that needs to be told and is probably just looking for the right direction in order to tell it and how to tell it. So, like I said, why your story really is going to connect to your people and connect to you. And next week, we're actually going to be looking at your soul client. So, this is why we're starting with looking at your story now. No matter why you chose to do this course, like I said, if it's from business or just trying to find yourself, the more you connect with who you are, essentially, the more you're going to be connected to everything. And that starts with getting really real with what's made you you and who you are. And I really want you to look at when you're writing this story, is there any blind spots in your story? Is there any resistance to writing some parts of it, like potential? Is there any hurt in there? Is there anything that you can forgive today and maybe let go of that's not serving you? Are you skipping parts thinking that they're not important? Why are you skipping them? Why are you thinking that it's not important? Little things like that. I really want you to just intentionally write your story. And this is a quote from Malala Yousafzai. I actually can't remember where she's from, which is really bad. But she was an activist for basically somewhere where the girls weren't allowed to go to school. And hers is, I tell my story not because it's unique, but because it's the story of many girls. And I think that's going to be really powerful as you write your story. Is what I really want for you is really enjoy some of the key moments there as well. So, like, a huge part of your story is also for people to be like, oh, yeah, me too. And also feel inspired by what it is that you're doing and why you're the right person for them, like, because you understand them, because you've been there as well. Like, we'll talk about that a little bit more next week, but really, you only need to be one step ahead of your ideal client. You don't need to be, the one who's doing something so much bigger than them. You just need to be one step ahead. And that's what we'll look at a little bit more next week. So I really want you to see the value in taking the time to write this story. Another thing we'll be looking at, and I've just added in, is your values. Your values can be used in so many different ways. I think this is probably a good time to do it. Once you've written your story, you'll see if you log into Thrivecart, there's an actual little test that you can do, or there's some words I've just added there to help you. You can just look at your top 5 values, is probably fine. But just to keep you on track, kind of reminds you of why you do things. It can also help you connect with your clients. Your clients will probably share similar values to you, so we can use that a bit next week. And it can also help with writing your content pillars for social media, which we're doing in week not next week, the week after, I believe. So that can be good too. So now for this week, you'll see in the document, you need to write your story, all your story. And a really good thing that you can do, especially if you're looking to write bios, and then we're going to be writing we'll be writing our bios in week 7. But no, it's week 7 anyway. But try and cut it in half and just see what sticks. That's a really good thing to do, and cut it in half again if you need to. But take the time to write your story. If you can't be bothered to write your story, then why would you expect other people to be bothered to hear it? So let's get super clear. Your story is important. I want to hear it. And once you've done it, I would really appreciate if you could send it to me. And my email is linked in Thrivecart. And yeah, make it as clear as you can. Be you, enjoy all of it, enjoy this journey down memory lane. And I can't wait to see what you come up with. And I can't wait to hear about your unique story. Yeah, that's all for now.